Are we recording yet?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Can you tell your video that today I don't have my disturbing phone? It's not here.
We thank God.
It's in another room. It can cry whatever it wants.
Whatever it wants to cry, it can cry there. Yeah, because it's always on.
Crying mode.
Crying mode. Hi, I'm Kitt Nyang'aya. This is Kitt Nyang'aya. She's my mother. Believe it or not.
Really?
Many people don't believe it.
Really?
And welcome back to another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and today we are talking about the ever-present and very dramatic baby mama drama.
And baby daddy.
Let's get into it. So, I was talking to mommy one time. All our topics, by the way, start with just us chatting, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I was talking to mommy and I was telling her, you know, this person is alone and she has 2 children and she's wondering where the children are going to be, and the baby daddy is refusing to pay this, that, and the other.
And this woman is going through a lot of heartache over it.
She's going through a lot of heartache. She needs money for rent. She was getting money for rent. She was getting money for school fees. Yeah, moving children here, there.
School snacks.
Yes. He doesn't want to pay. He's just, I don't have money this time. I only have 10,000. I only have that. And she was, yeah, being understanding, and as we are very understanding that some people, sometimes you have money, sometimes you don't have money. What it is, it's what it is.
Yes. Let's give her a name. Let's call her Karen. Karen is a good name, right?
Okay.
Not a blonde Karen.
Not that one. Not the Karen of I Want to See the Manager.
No, not that one. No, just Karen. Just Karen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Karen is having a hard time.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah. And then what did you say?
No.
First of all, you asked. What is this? You asked, what is this whole story around baby daddies? There's a power shift there that I'm not quite grasping.
Yes, I did say that, didn't I?
And you started to say something about in my day.
Yeah.
When you live with children, you live and never look back.
Yeah. Yes.
You have got nothing to do with this person.
Yeah.
This person doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah.
You live in a place where you can afford, you eat the food you can afford, and you put your children in a school you can afford. And you forget about the guy.
You know, Kate, so what occurred to me, because I've been hearing this story, and it's a generational thing. It's a thing, it's your generation.
Is it mine,
no,
or
it's
the one
generation.
before? No, it's the one before.
No, baby girl. Who's before you? It's me.
It's not you.
No, it's me who's before you, but baby girl.
No, mommy, between me and you is about 25 years. At least there's a generation.
There's no generation. That's the next generation is you. There's no generation. A 25-year-old is the mother. Kwisha maneno, next generation.
You're right. You're right. You know, you're not like, sorry. My bad. Yeah.
If I have you at 25, which I didn't, I had you at 26.
Very big difference. I can't believe it.
Yeah, there's a big difference, but nevertheless, the very next generation. Because if you have a child at 14, that's not a generation gap.
No,
that's 2 children.
Literally,
that's 2 children.
You're in the same generation.
You're in the same generation as your child, which didn't happen with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, that's not what this story is.
Yes.
This story has to me to do with listening to your generation having baby mama and baby baby daddy issues. And me sitting with it for a while and thinking, what am I listening to? What am I looking at? And then
did you not have the words?
Not at all. It's a new generation word. I was not equipped because it's a new generation word. And then as I watch movies and watch and I'm on Instagram and watch TV, it suddenly occurred to me that first of all, it's an African American word. It's an African American terminology.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And so its cultural context is African American.
Yes.
It's not even, I don't see white Americans speak about baby mama, baby daddy.
Baby daddy.
No, I don't.
No. And it's not like they're not having children with people they're not married to.
No, they're having children with people they're not married to.
Yeah.
So the first occurrence was that, this terminology is somebody else's culture. And language and culture travel in tandem. They travel together. And so by the time your generation takes on this culture, it's an imported culture.
First of all, we took on the language. And you cannot take on the language without the culture.
No, you don't. Language and culture reside in the same context.
Yes.
Yes. Some things just are not culturally transferable just because you don't have the language to go with it. So you cannot transfer it. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Shall I?
Please.
And this is in Luo.
Yeah.
In Luo, the word hetho is not transferable.
No.
To anybody else's context because hetho basically means this is a person who's eating meat without the ugali.
Bad manners.
Bad manners.
No.
The bad manners is silence. It's silent. Eating meat without ugali, bad manners. That's hetho. You can't translate it to an Englishman enjoying their steak.
No.
Rare.
No.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. They're just enjoying their steak.
That's it.
How do you say hetho?
You can't.
Yeah, but you're sitting from your lower head and looking at this person,
and I'm like,
and you're just thinking, oh, this is obnoxious.
Forget
mama?
even lower head. You've really gone far, right?
Yes.
To the Englishman.
Yeah.
I was watching my husband's family prepare an entire goat in its different parts. Mtura and gae and mara and all these things.
The whole works.
The whole goat.
Yes.
They said, and it comes
including the head.
Including the head
and the
soup. And it comes in sections. It comes in courses. And you eat this part, then you eat the other part, and there is no ugali.
No accompaniment.
And I'm sitting there thinking, bad manners.
How do you do this?
How?
Yes.
And they learned very quickly. Kitt is coming.
Yes.
Cook food.
And food is ugali. The ugali that goes with it.
Food
Only then is your stomach filled.
That's it.
Because you can't get food.
I can't.
Because you're just eating meat.
How?
And the half of your stomach for which ugali is designed has remained empty. I mean, you're starving. Empty. So you're starving.
I'm starving.
Yeah.
So that's the type of.
That's an example of how culture and language travels together.
That is such a good example.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. So, baby mommy.
Yes.
Baby mama.
Baby mama.
Baby daddy.
Yes.
It's an African American culture.
Yes.
It has traveled in language and in context and has come down into Kenya, marching with an army that bears taxation and rent.
Marching with an army.
Yes. That army travels with the taxman and rent. Because no culture comes to you tax-free.
Free.
No.
Free.
No, it doesn't come free. It comes with all its innuendos and burdens and the shocks.
Even the word baby mama is very different from mother of my children.
Very different.
Even if it's the same person.
Very different.
Same person.
Yes.
There's nothing has changed.
No, nothing has changed.
It's just baby mama and mother of my children.
This is the mother of my children. This is my baby mama. Baby mama comes with, there's a tone and the judgment.
And the underlying distance.
And the angers.
Yes. And trying to...
Yeah. This is not anybody of mine. This is my baby mama. Baby mama means you are, first of all, you're in the sideline.
You have to be, you stay there.
No, you stay there in the sideline because you are very annoying. So it has come with all the taxation and the burdens and the baggage that the African American woman is currently
enduring.
She's enduring it, and she comes from a very socially different context than ours.
Very different.
Yes. And so even her angers and her fights in that scenario has to do with her context. And she's surviving and fighting whatever it is that she is needing to fight to be on survival mode based on her context. Well, her culture comes down to you, your generation, with everything that it carries.
Yes.
And the other thing that I would like to say about this is that it travels within, it has traveled into Kenya.
Yes.
And it came by air. It traveled on an airline called Patriarchy. Yes. Yeah. It traveled on an airline called Patriarchy. And why do I say this?
Why do you say that?
I say this because there is so much power stripped of the woman and so much control that baby daddy is given and by that culture.
And somehow the word baby daddy also comes with tax, right? Tax, rent, and all of those things.
Yes.
And baby daddy is such a... I'm looking for the correct word in English.
Say it in Doluo, let's try.
Mien.
Yes, a smear. It's a smear. Do you know how something is smeared on you?
It's
like a slime.
It's a slime, and it's a stain on my reputation.
On whose reputation?
Me as the baby mama.
Yeah.
So a baby mama and a baby daddy are together, and there's nothing they like about each other.
Yes, but why is one person stained? The baby daddy isn't stained, but the baby mama is stained.
Baby daddies are stained because the culture also brings with them the whole be aloof, be indifferent, be deadbeat. So when you say that's my baby daddy, you're encompassing those things and calling out those things.
Yes, and you know what? This is not coming from judgment, but sadly, in statistics of America, a lot of African American men, a high percentage of people who are incarcerated.
Yes.
The highest percentage is African American men.
Yes. That's because of their systemic racism, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But this conversation about baby daddy, therefore, travels right into that prison system where these incarcerated men
yes
are fathers.
Yes.
who are absent because of that incarceration, and when they do come out, very many times, again because of systematic racism, even the environments in which you're bringing up the boy child is so toxic and not allowing a healthy young man to grow up, that by the time he's a full-grown man, I mean, his mother has gone through the fire. To even keep this person alive to age 21.
Yeah. I believe even 21, 16, Mom.
Yes. But by age 21, he's already a baby daddy. Yes. In that environment. So that he's an angry young man.
Yeah.
Married to an angry not even married, relating in some way to an angry young woman in many scenarios. And so the language that comes with it, they produce angry children. And so generation after generation, they are stuck in that thing. And then we take it on in Kenya. And now I want to talk about how it impacts us here in Kenya. Shall I go for it?
Go for it.
So this is the scenario Karen finds herself in. Kenyan Karen
has a relationship with somebody. Produces one child, produces another child. They're living a loving life. And then one day it doesn't work out. And they go different ways. And then she's a working woman. Karen is a working woman. And she calculates her money, and for some reason she decides it doesn't work. But then she decides he's the baby daddy. He has to
pay. The law says he's supposed to pay. The Kenyan law. He is supposed to bring up, it's in the law, our Kenyan laws are written in the best interest of the children, of the child. And so these parents
of the child. Not the baby mama?
No. In the best interest of the child. And so these parents are to work together to provide for the child. So then we take that that culture. We've taken it on. And what I'm noticing, this is what's happening with Karen. She's angry and upset because his name is John. Let's call him John. Because John is not sending rent as he said he would. Right?
Because he has to house his children.
He has to house
his children.
But he's not even remarried sometimes.
No.
He's not even remarried. Let's talk about John, who's not remarried. Then we'll talk about Albert, who will be married. So John is not married. He's just a guy free swinging from tree to tree like George of the Jungle. Tarzan. Some modern day Tarzan having a ball in the forest, picking flowers. And his children are not being provided for adequately in terms of shelter. And then school fees, he's not providing.
School fees?
Yes, but he does it intermittently.
When he has.
It's
not constant.
No, it's not constant, and it doesn't have to be constant because I mean, he's swinging from tree to tree. And then he has a way of, because he is co-parenting with you, he has a way of taking them in the weekends. Some weekends, not all weekends. Some weekends. Some weekends
when he's available.
But when he's in town, he would like to take them out. And so they end up at the village market and they eat some pizza. And he makes sure that they have a lot of sweet things so that by the time they come home, they're eating your head. In the evening. They have to have ice cream and all kinds of desserts and some chocolates that they're right to come home with. And that's his main provision. Entertainment.
Right.
He's an entertainer.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so Kitt, I'll stop there for just a minute.
We'll put a pin on it.
I'll put a pin on it and just share something that I saw on Instagram.
Yeah.
I love that girl. I'm beginning to follow her.
Yeah.
But now I don't know her name, so I'll just tell her story.
That's fine.
She said, when a clown walks into a palace, the clown does not become a king. The palace becomes a circus. It's hilarious.
Lord.
Okay. So John is a clown.
Look, John is a clown.
And the palace is a circus because he's
Karen's
in your
home.
life. Karen's home is a circus. Because...
And let me tell you, the number of women out here living in a circus.
Karen, your home is a circus. Because you've allowed John... Yes. He must pay rent.
And fees.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you have apportioned yourself the role of the of policing role. Eh?
Yes.
But in a circus, that guy is called what? The ringmaster. He's called the ringmaster. Yes. You have apportioned yourself the role of ringmaster.
Here, jump through here, do this, go under, go over, do that, do the other. Blow this fire, eat this sword.
Exactly. And you're angry. The circus
Mommy, let me tell you, the circus master is not having fun. Do you think that?
No, he's not having fun. He's not having fun because you've got a whip. And yes, the circus master has a whip, and you're upset. You're upset. This circus isn't going like a girl. It's not a king in there. It's a clown.
Of course, it's a clown.
Yeah,
we all know that. We know it's a clown. We know it's a clown.
Yeah, it's a clown. Yeah. It's a clown, and you're trying to control the way a clown is going to do things.
Yeah.
Now, how does patriarchy comes in?
Yeah.
Patriarchy comes in that as society we bring up men to be controlling, very
freaks.
Controlling.
Yeah.
And so even after he stepped out,
it's
so easy to control you if you're expecting me to pay rent.
Yeah, all I have to do is not.
Yeah, I'm a puppeteer. Yeah, I don't pay rent. All I have
to do is not pay rent.
Yeah, so the months, if I see you're not talking to me, Nini, I need you to talk to me. Of course, I've got my girlfriend on that side, but I need you to be begging and bowing down and kneeling. I just don't pay rent or school fees.
And wait for you to call me.
I wait for you to call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you will call.
Yes.
Where's that rent?
Of course you will call.
Okay, so somebody asked me, so how did my generation do it?
Yeah.
I said, we had as many babies outside of marriage as you guys are having.
We are not new, we're not unique.
You think you've invented having babies outside of marriage or separations. You think you've invented it. My friend. Is your mother on her first marriage? Maybe. Maybe not. My generation did let go. And we did move on. My mother's generation found it more difficult, but they did move. Yes, some of them did move on and got married somewhere else, right? But I'm going to speak about the Luo way.
Yes.
Yeah, because that for me is a worldview that I'm able to look at the world through. Yes.
Yes.
So let's say I have 2 children.
Yeah.
And I'm married to one man and I leave that man.
Yes.
Or I have 2 children outside of marriage.
Yeah.
And it's time for me to go and get married.
Yeah.
I turn up into the marriage with 2 children.
Yeah.
These children, based on my traditional culture, they belong to the person who pays the dowry.
Yeah.
Period. Nobody else has a voice in here. There's a king in the palace, not a clown.
In the circus.
In the circus. No, this ain't a circus, it's a palace.
To come back to this, because this is what you were saying is very difficult now for women, because they can't get into a different relationship because they're dealing with a circus.
Yeah, because you've got a clown. You've got a clown in the house. Yes? So
you find it very difficult to relate with other people, and find it very difficult
to move on
or
to have
a king to
in the palace.
Even get married, you're just because you're so tethered,
always going backwards
to the clown
to pay rent and buy snacks and buy school snacks.
And buy school snacks.
No, baby girl, my generation, you counted the money that you've got.
Yeah, you as you.
And if it was 20 bob, you took a plastic bag and you put the few clothing items you could put into your plastic garbage bags. And you took your children, one on this hand and one on the other, and you hit the street with your feet flat on the ground, flat-footed, nimble. And you went and you looked for the first house cleaning job that there was. And that is how the president, the current president of Rwanda, was brought up. Yes, it wasn't a baby mama, but his mother arrived in Uganda as a refugee. The father was so depressed, he couldn't do it. Because he was coming from an upper middle class family in Rwanda. And so the father he basically lay down and died. This upper class woman started washing
grabbed
clothes.
One child under this armpit.
She had 3.
The other one,
2 daughters, and the president, who was a little boy. And she washed clothes for women in the villages of Uganda, or was it in Kampala? I don't know where. But they were refugees, and she made sure this little boy went to school. And after her daughters, who were older, finished school, they joined in making sure that he was educated. And when he grew up, well, he built an army and went back and took back the country and created one of the highest growing democracies in this country.
That is run by, is it
women.
Now 60% women?
60%.
Is it now 60 or it's more?
The number one, only Sweden keeps competing with it in terms of women in places of leadership. And you know what he said? He said his mother took charge. She landed with her feet, she tied her lasso, and she did what she needed to do.
Right.
He honors, that mother is still alive, I believe. He honors his mother and his sisters, and has honored the country by providing for women to rise into places of leadership. Because he says they don't give up, they don't lie down and die. They don't just lie down and die, they keep moving on. Now, that's what I would like to say about baby mama, baby daddy, African American scenario. Just doesn't, it's not flowing in Kenya. It's not us, it's not working. This is a land with your feet.
This is a power conversation.
This is a power conversation.
We have seen in our own lives, with our own relatives and friends and acquaintances, how so much power women give away to men in the spirit of baby daddy. He must
at the popcorn.
He must
popcorn for school, girl. Pop.
And when your child is asking you, Mama, can I do this? Can I do that? You're saying your father has not. Your father needs to. You need father.
And then you're also pulling him down and pulling your child down, because you mustn't be speaking ever negatively about a child's parent and pulling down that child by pulling down their parent. You can't. Just close your eyes, move on to the king, live with the king. So I asked Karen.
Yeah.
I said, but what if you find a man who wants to live with you and look after you? And she says, well, a man came to me and he was really interested in us moving our lives on together. And he said, if I could marry you, would you allow me to be the parent of your children? And she said, yes. And will I pay their school fees and provide for them? And she said, no, their father will provide for them. So he said, will you and I have children? And Karen said, yes, we will have children. And then the man said, but when we do have children, will our children go to different schools because the ones you've come into the marriage with have a different school fees?
Mom, you're like that. What? Please, that whole sentence you have just said is making my head hurt.
Can you see it? Do you feel it? You feel it. It's making your head hurt. Cynthia? Yeah. Yes. So she stopped and she thought about it. And she didn't actually, for that one, she didn't have the answer. And this man said, I want to be the father to your children. And Steve Harvey recently, I was watching a clip where his son was saying, thank you so much. And it's not his biological son. Thank you so much for being my father. Thank you so much for giving me your last name. Thank you so much for standing in that gap with me and bringing me up in the way that you brought me up. It's because that mother, although she's African American, she didn't do the
African American
no,
way.
She didn't. She did it the right way. And I don't know what's right, what's wrong. I'm just saying the way that works for the children and for the family is that you have a king in the palace rather than a clown turning the palace into a circus. As soon as a clown enters, it's a circus. And the circus of who's paying the school fees for these children, and you can't discipline them a particular way because their daddy would rather that they were disciplined this other way, is a complete no-no. My generation, we had many children, and very many of the people I'm speaking to here might actually be that child, and you don't even know. You don't even know, because in my generation, we did not necessarily come over and tell you this is not your biological father,
because it doesn't matter. Because
in the Luo thing, it doesn't matter. Biologically, it might matter one day.
If you ever need a kidney.
No, if you ever need a kidney, then you might realize that actually this, my DNA is different
from my dad.
From my dad.
Well, that's your dad. That's your dad.
It's your dad. Your daddy is your daddy. The one who checks your temperature in the night and brings the Panadol.
That's your daddy.
That's your daddy.
Now, you know, people argue all the time, no, we must co-parent, and you force men.
But it's the women
into co-parenting.
Yes.
Because you're the whip, you're the ringmaster.
The ringmaster.
You're literally the ringmaster.
Yes.
And you're out here forcing this man and that man and the other man, if you have 3 different children, to co-parent. You know?
3 clowns in the palace.
My God, I really wonder if it is working for you.
Actually, 3 clowns in a circus. It's 1 clown, 2 men, isn't it?
I wonder if it is working for you. And you know what? We refuse to admit that we use this thing to punish men. We try to punish you. How dare you leave me? How dare you this, that, and the other? You must pay. You must pay forever for the rest of your life. Even when you are moved on or whatever, you must continue paying.
But you're in a 10-year trap yourself.
We're not talking about the people who are co-parenting effectively. We're not talking about people who are in a very good relationship with the father of their children or the mother of their children. We're not. We're talking about the people who
are miserable.
One is a clown, the other is a ringmaster. Those are the ones we're talking about. And we're encouraging and showing you, maybe you can let it go.
And maybe
you can.
And maybe your children don't need to go to that top school.
Yeah, maybe they don't.
For now.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe you just want to start where you're at.
Yes.
And just do what President Kagame's mother did.
Yes. And I've also said this before on my Instagram. If the father of your children is willing to take your children, give them to him.
If he's a good daddy.
If he's a good daddy.
Yeah.
Give them to him.
Yes.
Let them live there.
Yes.
And you be the entertainment parent.
Exactly. Very many bad husbands.
Yes.
Are amazing fathers.
Amazing fathers.
Amazing fathers.
Yeah. And let's not be narcissistic in thinking that we are better parents because we are women. Some of us are wasa.
Yes.
And we know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But society has told us because we are women, we are better for the children.
Yes, because you have a womb. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes you're an amazing parent.
Yeah.
Both of you are amazing parents. If you don't have the resources to move with these children, just let them stay with their father.
Let them stay.
Yeah, and entertain them every weekend.
You entertain them.
Yes.
You be the entertainment parent.
Yes, but Kitt.
Yeah.
Also that mother who keeps entertaining the children who live in my house and are my children because I took their father with the children and they're now my children.
Yeah.
I don't want a clown taking the children out in the weekend.
What if she's not a clown? And that's what we're saying. If
no,
neither
then she
of
has
you
to. Okay,
are
if she's not a clown, she's a good person.
Yeah, she's a good person, and you're all now in this big family
no
together.
No problem.
Yeah.
Can she take 4 children? I would expect.
You don't have to only take yours.
No, I don't want these children separated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
If you're a big family, you don't only have to take yours.
Yeah. Whereas if for as long as she's taking 2 children away and leaving 2, that's a clown. That's a clown. Yeah. Yeah. If there are 4 children in this house.
Okay, let me lay down the scenario for you.
Yes.
Okay? So I have a friend. Let's call her Nancy. So Nancy has a child with John.
Yes.
And then they're no longer together. Nancy gets married to Brian.
Yes.
And they have 2 more children. Now they have 3 children.
Yes.
John gets married to Teresa.
Yes.
And they have 2 children.
Yes.
Now they have 3 children.
Yes.
But one is?
Yes.
You have 3 including this one.
Yes.
You have 3 including this one.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
This child moves from house to house. Seamlessly.
Yes.
This child has 4 siblings.
These other children, do they also move?
They don't move.
Why?
They're not your children.
Okay, so for me, that's the thing. That's the circus scenario.
Yeah, but it's not a circus.
No, do you know why it's a circus?
Why?
One day, this child who's been moving from house to house grows up, and there's a whole complex around not being with their siblings all together. So when I leave the sibling that I usually play with, how is that impacting on that child that I usually play with? Then I come to this other house and I'm playing with this other child, and I keep leaving them. That's not a healthy scenario for me. I have a girlfriend who her scenario was just beautiful and so amazing, because one time I walked into her house, I thought she had 2 children. Then I walked into her house and she had too many children. I said, wow, girlfriend.
Huh?
And the ones I thought were her only children were the younger ones.
Yes.
And I said, what's this? I mean, you have so many children.
Yes.
She said, yeah, you know what, darling? It's a blended family. And that's the first time I heard the word blended. And I laughed. And I said, what's blended? And she explained it to me.
Yeah.
She said, my husband got married to a woman who came in with a daughter, and that marriage had a son. So they then had two children, but he left the marriage with those two children. He left the marriage with those 2 children and then married as another woman who he had 2 children with, a son and a daughter.
So she didn't come in with anybody?
No, she didn't come in with anybody. So he had 4 children.
Yeah.
And now...
And was the mother of the first one or the second one in any of their lives, in their life?
Gone.
Okay.
Finished.
Okay.
Right? Gone.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes. So
4 children.
4 children, right? So he meets my friend who has 2 sons. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they marry.
Yeah. Now they have 6 children.
6 children. Right?
Yeah.
And then
they have a child.
They have a child.
Yeah.
And she said this child is everybody's relative.
They're related to everyone.
So he's the one who merges everybody because he's the one who's related to everyone.
But he's not related to the first child.
Well, he is, because he's related not biologically, but he's related to the first child because that father came with that first child, who was now a grown-up by the time I met her. She was a grown-up, young woman, running life and coming here and disciplining everybody in this house. And I loved her. I looked at her. Let's call her Maria. I looked at Maria and I was like, what? That girl, she's like a whirlwind in the house. And my friend said, I love it when she's around. Yes, because she comes in and she straightens. She said, no, these are jokers. And she straightens everything. Yes. Now for me, that is totally healthy because everybody is related to everybody. And they travel together as a family. It doesn't matter. Yes. Well, what's interesting?
So what you would recommend with this child who keeps going from house to house? Let everybody come.
Let everybody come. Why do I have a problem if my child is safe enough to go to that house?
Then my child is safe enough to go to that house.
Exactly. They're all my children.
I've never thought about it that way.
Yes.
My child is safe enough to go to that house. So why aren't my other children safe enough to go to that house?
They all go. We are one big family, or we are not. Period.
No, they don't consider themselves one big family. No, they don't.
Okay.
Yes.
But we are biologically related and operating, so everybody goes. Yeah. And in this particular story, what's very interesting is there's a strange scenario. The parents of that first wife.
Yes, the first
Mama Maria. We called her Maria.
Yeah, the mother.
The parents of Mama Maria. Okay, so what?
Okay,
what do
the
we call
parents
that
of Mama Maria. Okay.
Yeah, that first wife. What's her name?
Lucy.
The parents of Lucy.
Yeah.
After their son-in-law left and left with Maria. Yes. Lucy's parents continued being the parents-in-law of this man. Yes. And they took on his new wife as their daughter-in-law. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And for her, those were her parents-in-law, because that's where she would travel to shags. And they even gave them land.
Okay.
Like
where?
Yes, they gave them land, and they built a home on this land that was given to them by those parents-in-law. So those are people traveling with 0% bitterness. But
0% bitterness. But Lucy's bitter.
Lucy she's not bitter.
Okay.
She kind of withdrew because she was a recluse.
Okay.
Yes, and just moved on with her nice long white robe and orange turban
and left
and moved on with into a peaceful zen place. Yes, that means the direction her life took was zen, and she went. So there hadn't really been a quarrel between them or anything. And maybe that's why her parents adored this son-in-law, and so they kept him as their son-in-law. To this day he is their son-in-law, and those are his parents-in-law who he loves.
crazy.
Yes, yeah. So it is actually possible to have a blended family.
Yeah.
But just keep it blended. Don't invite a clown into the palace.
Period. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.